If you're not familiar with Rick Rubin, he is a legendary music producer and co-founder of Def Jam Recordings. He worked with the likes of LL Cool J, the Beastie Boys, and Run DMC and helped shape the sound of hip-hop. Later, he worked with rock bands and metal bands including the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Metallica, and System of a Down, and even country legend Johnny Cash. He's known for emphasizing raw emotion and stripping down production to its bare essentials. His approach often involves pushing artists to their creative limits while maintaining a calm and almost meditative presence in the studio. His influence on modern music is massive, making him one of the most respected producers in the industry. But can he write a book? Well, I recently finished reading his book, The Creative Act: A Way of Being. Sounds super zen, I know. I didn't know what to expect, only that it had an interesting title and it was written by an industry legend. So the first thing that I noticed was that, unlike most books written about music production, this wasn't a step-by-step guide, it wasn't a technical manual, it was not an autobiography or a biography, it wasn't historical nonfiction. So what was it? It's a philosophy book. Reading it gave me similar vibes to reading religious texts, but with a modern day approach. Much of the book spends time discussing Rubin's belief that open-mindedness, patience, and what I would consider to be luck are the keys to creative success. He speaks of the source from which all great new ideas come, and that if we only learn to listen better, we too could be part of the creative act gifted to us by the universe. If I had to summarize what I learned from this book in one sentence, it would be, just chill, bro. So while this book wasn't exactly what I expected, it doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. My 5 key takeaways from this book are these. Number 1, sometimes when you're trying so hard to be like everybody else, you lose sight of what makes you special. Lame as it sounds, every human is like a snowflake with unique experiences and different backgrounds. And the best ways to achieve lasting success is to embrace what makes you different, own it, and be okay with it. Number 2, sometimes it's best to just shut up and listen to your gut. Now, this doesn't mean to stop learning and be okay with putting out mediocre art. The way I look at it is that sometimes you need to be a little more objective about your creation. When I was 14, I was super stoked that I was able to make music with my computer. I thought I was the cat's pajamas because I could do it and none of my classmates or friends could. Every single one of the songs I made was my baby. But in reality, they were terrible. The key takeaway is to not attach your ego or your self-esteem to the art that you create, especially while you're learning. You have to look and listen to what you're making as if you were in the audience. I loved my music, but if I paid to go see a show and they started playing my tunes, frankly, I'd be pissed. You really have to be honest with yourself about your art if you want to learn and grow. Number 3, we're often so focused on the technical aspect of production or mixing that sometimes we forget that the song itself is the most important part. People aren't going to be singing about your mixing skills in the shower, so don't skip that part. Now, I'm not saying make something and focus on making things that other people will like. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to be honest with yourself. Do you even like what you created? Really? Do you really like it? Would you listen to this? If you put the creative part of songwriting to the side while you're learning the technical part, the production, the mixing, the mastering, and all that good stuff, you need to make sure to go back and work on your fundamentals. It really is the most important part of the process. Number 4, if you don't already meditate, it's worth giving it a shot. My best song ideas have come to me while I was meditating, after I spent some time just clearing everything out of my mind. So sit down and force yourself to acknowledge everything that's going through your head, anything that may be causing you anxiety in the moment. Talk through them in your head and basically empty out the trash so there's space for creativity to take place. Then see if anything comes to you. You don't have to spend more than 10 or 15 minutes each day doing this to see results. Number 5. This is the last thing I'll mention, and it is my least favorite part, and that's the fact that some people are successful because they were just in the right place at the right time. This is the big unknown variable in every how do I achieve success equation. Coming to terms with that is important because if you don't, it can lead to you resenting other artists, which is only going to make people not want to work with you. Keeping a positive attitude and celebrating other artists and other artists' success is important for both you and the community. So my recommendation, if you're trying to learn more about producing music in your DAW, this book probably isn't for you. However, if you want to begin fostering a potentially better mindset than the one you have now toward art and creativity, or you just want to know what the hell is going on in Rick's head while he's in his production sessions, then it's definitely worth a read. It doesn't take very long to read through the whole book, and frankly, it was a breath of fresh air from all the production and mixing manuals I usually read. So if you've read the book, I'd love to hear your comments about it, what you thought, what you liked, what you didn't like, and on your way down there, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.